get this figured out. This world gon' give me whatever I need until I get this vision out. Then they gon' pay me whatever I ask, cause I got it figured out. Family be checking all up on a nigga to see how I'm feeling now. Damn, they love to see a nigga really make a killing now. I put a lock on the game and I hide the code and the keys. I am not playing no games, I really play this shit for keeps. That shit for me.
MaddenHeadz YouTube. What's going on? It is your boy, Coach DC, coming back at you today with another video. And so today I figured I would talk to you guys about just a few of the usages of the modifier, or L2, as it's commonly referred to in most Madden circles. And so you know, with the advent of a few of these games, sometimes I just have to go back and remind people of what they should be using that button for. So I'm just gonna go over like 3 quick little quips, you know, 3 things that I use the L2 for. And one of the things basically on defense is anytime I click to a defender, I'm probably gonna be on L2, just even if it's really slightly, and even if it's for the smallest amount of time, I'm gonna do that, because what L2 does defensively is, I mean, first of all, it slows you down, you know, if you're on the user, helps you square up. It just helps with your change of direction. It helps in attacking the football. It actually helps some of the players around you kind of square and face the ball, you know, even at the snap in some situations if you're using it correctly. Defensive clock-in technique, people know what I mean. So anytime that you're clicking to a defender, you probably just want to give L2 just a slight tap, even if you're clicking on in a tackling capacity. But anytime that I'm clicking on, especially if I'm trying to defend the pass, chances are in most cases I'm gonna be trying to slow my feet, you know, for a second, unless if I'm in a trail technique position. Sometimes I'll even do it there too if I'm close enough to the defender, because it helps you get your steps right for your jumps. It helps you get higher and more aggressive style jumps to try to make plays on the ball. And so as I'm usering on defense, you'll see me L2 because you'll see me like square up. I use it a lot to help keep me facing the quarterback, or keep me in a position where, you know, when I come up off of it, I can go in either direction. Like you see, like right there with Chancellor, I'm just kind of, you know, a lot of that is popping in L2 and holding it, and maybe just popping it a couple times. But then, you know, as the click on occurs, as you see me get the pick right there and come back downhill for the pick, that's heavy L2. And of course, these things are always combined with, you know, like the direction of the stick and all that kind of stuff. So you'll see my guys, like when I click on, you'll see me, you know, with those little, you'll kind of see my guys like look back in that little quarter turn or kind of position, you know, where they'll just look back slightly for the ball, and you'll see them kind of gather their steps a little bit. And that's some of the things that L2 will do a little bit even before you click to the guy. If you're on L2 before you click to the defender that you're seeking. And so I say that a lot, and I always say to make sure that you have the stick pointed in the right direction when you click on. God, that was hard for me to get that one out. And so that's the reason why, is because if you have the stick pointed in the right direction and you click onto the guy and you have a little slight squeeze or a heavy squeeze, whatever the case is, whatever it calls for of L2, it's going to help you turn around and come back for the football a lot of times, so you won't feel like you're drifting. Now, with the advent of the way that they have nerfed the spin move, you're going to need L2 in your running game now. I mean, to make your jukes and fakes. And so all these times where you see me, you know, with that little sidestep juke, or you'll see me, you know, do the, the one cut or anything. And even with the spin move to a certain degree, even now after, the game has been patched, the spin move still works. You're just not hitting L2 with it. And of course, you're not going to get the super fast, glitchy spin move, but you'll get enough of what you need. A lot of these times when you see me run, especially to the sidelines, you see those two little hesitation steps, or where I'm kind of trying to stop myself from running out of bounds. That's L2. L2 is like the brakes. You've heard me say this for years on here. R2 is the accelerator, L2 are equivalent to the brakes. And so anytime you see me, make that little move like that, L2 comes before that, because I'm already stopping his feet. I'm taking a gather step or some things like that. And then sometimes it's just a slow roll. Sometimes it's not a heavy squeeze of L2. Sometimes it's really light, and what you're trying to do is just slow your pace a little bit, sometimes to set your blocks up. Sometimes it's a heavy juke, L2. Every time it's L2 plus the juke move, or L2 with the juke move coming right after it. And a lot of times that's the thing that helps my running backs get separation, even if they don't have like an ability or something like that. And so you see, like right there, you see that little instep. I take that little instep with the left stick. I'm on L2. So watch they're not gonna show it again, but it's like L2 juke. So it's L2 juke for me. And then sometimes it's just a roll. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit of L2, then come up off of it, go back to speed burst. And so it's a constant interchanging, or a constant, toggle job in terms of just running, just mixing L2, R2. Sometimes it's L2 is a little bit of hezzy, and whatever you're doing with the stick is going to get you just a little bit of separation. Again, I've been saying this for years. The defense pursues you at the speed that you run. So if you run slower, you're going to get a slower pursuit from the defense, which sometimes if you slow your feet, it'll allow you to, make a cutback move. Or a lot of times when you guys see me in shotgun and you see me make you see me bend it back, a lot of that is L2. It's like right there. That's slight L2 just to slow down, let the blocker get out in front, and then go back to R2, as I accelerate through the little crease right there to get into the end zone. And so it's a lot of stuff to remember, but it's a natural, it's a natural transition, especially when you're running the ball. Right here, watch this. L2, juke. And so you just have to kind of time it out. If I were you guys, I would, if you're struggling, with your juke moves and being elusive, get into practice mode and then just practice what I'm saying. Utilize L2 right before your juke moves to slow yourself down a little bit. Watch this. L2 right there. If I didn't hit L2, chances are the momentum of the catch would have taken me out of bounds. And so a lot of it's very situational. In other words. And so you just have to understand where you're at. You have to have a field sense in a sense of understanding where you're at on the field and what move that you need to make at which particular time. And so again, you could be running straight ahead, little L2, and you see that little stutter right before he takes that juke. That's L2. And so again, the degree that you're gonna press or hold L2 kind of depends upon your situation, as a runner. And so a lot of times, when I get the ball in my hands, I may have to L2 to cut back, L2 again, another L2, and it's just like L2 juke, L2 accelerate, L2 stop, L2, just it's so many different facets. It would have been impossible for me to do a video on all of the usages of L2. I mean, this video would probably last about 3 hours, because there's a lot of other stuff that I don't even talk about here on YouTube. I do that more on the Coach DC 404 site. And so again, bam, that's what gets you the separation. It's not necessarily that these guys have the best juke moves. A lot of them, like I said, they don't have an ability, but they get the moves as if it is an ability, simply because of the timing and the usage and the application. Another part of using L2 on offense big time, and this has been like a kind of a hidden secret in Madden for years, is when you're clicking on to the offensive guy, especially when you're throwing down the field, L2 is a big I mean, it's a big factor. You see me slow my feet up right there? That's L2. That's me holding L2. Remember, I'm telling you guys, it's the L2 is the brakes, R2 is like the accelerator. And so you just have to really just kind of get into your bag and be really situational about the usages and how you're using it in terms of, especially when you're clicking on offense and or defense. Sometimes just a slight click of a slight squeeze of L2 when I get control of the receiver, and me pulling the receiver away from the defender will get me into that position to make a play. Anyway, man, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. It's your boy Coach. I'm out.